journalism. I really wish there was a place where we could go where we can get 100% unbiased information and news.
Yeah.
And we can get an honest perspective of both sides. This side believes this, and this is why they believe that, but this side believes that, and this is why they believe that. It's very hard to do. And if you have a podcast, one of the things that's really interesting is if you even talk to someone who has an opposing point of view of yours, or who is right-wing, or who maybe has some questionable ideas, you are somehow platforming them and supporting their idea and then supporting some alt-right ideology. And there's no room anymore for people to have conversations with people with differing opinions and just find out why they think.
There is. It's right here.
Yeah.
You've literally created it, man. Seriously, you and a handful of other people have created this.
Well, it'd be nice if I could go somewhere.
What's that?
If I could go somewhere and read things. I mean, it's nice that I'm doing it, but you got to trust me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not the guy to be distributing information. I'm certainly not the guy to be analyzing things.
Yeah.
I'm too busy. Okay, I have too many other jobs. I got 3 kids. I got 3 jobs. I got a lot of hobbies. You know, I'm fucking busy, all right? I'm not the guy to go to that's going to give you an in-depth, comprehensive analysis about the way the world works.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
But what I am is someone who's interested in talking to people. What they should have is someone who has I don't want to say my sensibilities, but my willingness to communicate with almost anybody.
Yeah.
And then also someone who does real exhaustive research on the actual facts behind all these critical issues that are going to affect everybody. I don't see that anywhere.
Well, you're certainly not going to find it on television, just because the format just doesn't allow for that. You've got the time pressure, the advertising, all that. It just simply doesn't allow for it. And then in the way newspapers and journalism is going, I mean, the stuff that's been paying is the clickbaity sort of stuff, the stuff that gets people outraged, stuff that gets people fired up, highly partisan stuff. It's, being sensible is not in the old media, that's not what seems to be profitable.
I know, but is that everything? Is profitability anything? I mean, where's real journalism?
Yeah.
Because I feel for real journalists, because I do think that they are fighting for their lives in terms of this world. Like, nobody, I subscribe to a few different things. I subscribe to the Washington Post and the New York Times and a few other periodicals online where I pay money to read their stuff online because I think they have valuable contributions. I don't think many people are doing that. There's so much free shit. Vox is free. All these other places are free. And so if you're only going with free shit, you're only going to get biased stuff. And you're also only going to get stories that are commercially viable to the people that are making it. And why would they be commercially viable? Well, they got to be clickbaity. That's the only way you get people to pay attention to shit these days.
And I think that's already starting to stop working.
You think so?
The clickbaity stuff, yeah. I don't know if you remember, think back a couple years ago where, I don't know, you'd go on Facebook and you'd get all these kind of like BuzzFeed things, and you had all these new media companies that sprung up and sort of took advantage of the clickbait era, but people have become quite wise to that now, I think, and people are starting to realize, I mean, I think if you went back even a decade, I don't think most people thought that the media in general was particularly biased. Maybe they would have thought, okay, maybe that one, but not just generally. Now, I think if you were to survey people, like a lot of people understand that even the ones that are supposed to be impartial, things like CNN, things like the New York Times, especially when it comes to the opinion pieces, people know that those things are not just giving it to you straight. They know you're getting some spin. Some cases you're getting it from a totally partisan angle. And I think if people are upfront with that, if they're like, look, we're a conservative news outlet, look, we're a liberal left-wing news outlet, and that's the filter everything is coming through, if they're upfront about that, then, I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, that's fine. But if people claim to be unbiased or claim to be totally impartial and just bring you the facts without putting too much opinion or spin on it, and then you can kind of see through that and see that's what they're doing. And they may not even know that they're doing it, right? Because so many people get stuck in these echo chambers. So I don't think all of it is necessarily on purpose. But that's just how it is. And I think the vibe I'm certainly getting, I know with myself and with other people and listening to what people are saying, is people are starting to notice it a lot more. I know you've talked a lot about the online tech censorship and bias and stuff like that, which is another thing that, again, I think if you went back 10 years ago, I don't think people thought that Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any of these things were biased. Whereas now in 2019, it's like, okay, you've got enough examples to see, okay, they're deplatforming a lot of people of certain political persuasions. And then you've got other people who are outright calling for violence or just saying like crazy stuff or threatening people, and they're fine. They're turning a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
And it's just in your face. And it's kind of like, well, this isn't me being a conspiracy theorist. It's just, look, they've taken off that person, that person, that person, that person, but all these people are still there. So these rules are not being applied fairly.